All right, guys, welcome back into another episode of To The Show Baseball Podcast, presented by Beyond the Monster. I am your host, Andrew Parker, and we got a common theme lately. We're going back into the Red Sox work. I have Barrett Morgan on, and he is a very, very, very intriguing arm that was taken in the 2025 draft class. He's a JUCO guy from the state of Oklahoma. He doesn't have a lot of innings under his belt. He was an overslot sign in the 11th round in this past year's draft and has not debuted yet. So I just wanted to get to know who Barrett Morgan was as the pitcher, and we kind of dive into, just everything about, getting drafted to, what he's been up to this spring so far in his first ever spring training. But before I do shoot to the interview, if you're watching me on YouTube right now, listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please like and subscribe. It means the world to me. The YouTube channel is pretty new. I know I've been saying this every episode. I'm trying there to get to 500 subs. It's a newer channel. I just want to try to hit that mark. And I appreciate every single one of you that do so. But without further ado, let me shoot you on to the interview with Barrett Morgan. All right, Barrett. We are into your first spring training as a professional baseball player. And that's exactly where I want to begin. How has everything been going? I guess being around, all the guys from all around the system. And I guess what has your experience been so far?
It's been awesome so far. I mean, just kind of jumping right into it. It was nice, after the draft, kind of getting a nice slow intro into it. And then talking to professional pitchers back home about spring training, they tried to give me the best explanation of it. And they also told me we're going to undersell it. It's a completely different beast. And they were right. Just the amount of players there, staff there, not really on our side, but just the media walking in that the big league club has to deal with. It's just the business side of it is really intense. So that was just one thing I wasn't I kind of underplayed it in my head a little bit, but it's been awesome. I mean, seeing all the guys from all the older guys, and obviously I'm a pitcher, all the guys on the big league club, they're some monsters on the big league staff. And so just seeing them in the weight room is so cool. I think a few weeks ago when Chapman got here, I finished working out and he was in there working out next to me. And I stopped working out and texted my dad and brother, and I was like, "Hey, I'm working out next to a Aroldis Chapman right now. This is the coolest thing ever." Or I saw Crochet and I was like, "Holy crap! He's so much bigger in person." So it's I try not to get too lost in it because I just get my work in. But it is cool seeing all those guys and just being in the environment where there's so many other awesome baseball players and awesome pitchers.
I have to remember as well. I did just have to look back at your date of birth there. You're a young guy.
Yeah.
So is that weird to see? I guess I know you kind of said hey, I gotta kind of get the fan out of me, but it's got to be weird watching guys like Aroldis Chapman. Pitching. I don't know when your probably first recollection of him pitching in the bigs, but I remember him pitching for the Cincinnati Reds. It seems like forever ago and throwing 103 or whatever it was. Is that weird? Just still in a little bit of shock, just having guys like that around.
I mean, just a little. I've definitely gotten a lot more used to it. I mean, after the draft, it was just all the other guys are kind of I'm 20. My birthday's next week. Then kind of all the other guys are 21, 22, so not too far. But then we get back for spring training, and one of the other pitchers who's he's AAA. I think he's on the 40 man. I didn't catch his name, but he was birthday, and it was 1998. And I was oh my god, I'm next to a grown man right now. So that kind of
that one hurts. That hurts me.
Yeah. So just kind of realize because it is in terms of pitching wise, it is a pretty old org, and very top heavy. So just it kind of took me a second to realize yeah, I am pretty young in comparison to everybody, but I almost look at it as an awesome opportunity that I'm kind of starting a year ahead of when I should. I always thought I'd be going after my junior year of college, when I was 21. So to get to start a year early when I'm 20 is an awesome opportunity.
Yeah, I think that's what I think surprised me a little bit just when I did have to, take a peek at your age and I'm like, wait, he's a college guy, but you're a JUCO guy.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I think that's the thing here that obviously some of your other draft classmates like, Carter Rasmussen and
Mhm.
Anthony and all those other guys, they are going after their junior year. So it is a very unique situation for yourself. And you are coming from the JUCO route, which I was talking with another one of your draft classmates, Marcus Phillips, about. He
Mhm.
was at a JUCO and ended up going to Tennessee. But how has that been bridging between a smaller JUCO to going straight to pro ball? Like that's got to be a little bit of an interesting step for yourself.
I think it definitely has been interesting, just in like in the way I get in the way I get taught. Like at JUCO, we had, I mean, I love him, lefty Coach Burrows. He's awesome. I mean, just kind of made me tough as nails while I was there. I mean, it's just a grind for 2 years. You're with 40 other guys just grinding it out. So I got physically tough as could be there, but very old school in the way that he taught pitching. So, like overnight, kind of shifting into a more analytical mindset. That's kind of been the not toughest, but the biggest change is just kind of the way development is viewed. And the like in college, it's just like the coach is just like, all right, I want you to just go get me outs. Whereas like going into minor league baseball, like it's more focused on development and like throwing hard, swing and miss, punching guys out. It's not just like, all right, go get outs, because outs are created differently.
Yeah, is that something? I feel like that might be something that may be overlooked a little bit by the casual fan, and for yourself having maybe not access to as much of the analytics and data that a professional baseball team has at a junior college, and even the case at some
Yeah.
4-year D1 schools as well. But was that kind of information overload for you at first, like having access to all their trackman data, just all of the underlining stuff that you probably haven't seen before? Or how long did that take you to kind of get a grasp of?
So it actually wasn't too bad for me, because I was lucky to, since after my sophomore year of high school, there's a place in Edmond, so about 40 minutes from where I live, called Pitching Works. So I've been going there for five, almost 6 years at this point, and I've been throwing on TrackMan since then, radar gun. So I'd been accustomed to all of it, but not to like the level of like every single pitch here is tracked. Like every single time I'm on a mound, it's on a radar gun or a TrackMan. So just the volume of it and the amount of cameras everywhere is like taking some getting used to. But I have been on TrackMan for years at this point, so I do have experience of like being able to like filter out what information works for me and like what data points I know are important that make me an effective pitcher.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I was going to ask you about your home base there in Oklahoma a little later, but you did just bring it up, so I think this is a good transition. Obviously, Pitching Works has been a very common. I guess it's been like a common theme this offseason with how many Oklahoma guys are now in the Red Sox org. And you spent your offseason training with guys like Peyton Tolley, David Samlin.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Isaac Stebbins was
Jake
down
Bennett,
there.
yeah. Isaac
Jake Bennett was
Stebbins.
down there. Yeah. So, I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
guys had a pretty good crew down there. I
Yeah.
know everybody saw the video of Peyton Tolley being an absolute psycho.
Yeah, I was off to
Screaming.
the side of that video. Like in like the full cut of the video, you can hear him yelling my name. It was awesome to get to throw next to him. I mean, from like I had off season camp, so I didn't start coming back to the facility till late November, kind of around Thanksgiving. From the first day I walked in, he was awesome, like super welcoming, like broke the ice with me, like could have big leagued me, didn't at all. I mean, we're chopping it up, talking trash to each other, like playing catch with each other. So it was awesome, and he kind of like got me prepared for spring training and kind of let me know like a little bit of the ins and outs of the org. So I'm super grateful for him for doing that.
Was that a nice experience just having with Isaac being up to double A, well high A, believe Double-A this year, but you have Peyton that made his MLB debut. You had Jake Bennett has been up to Double-A. It's like you have all these guys that have that experience in pro ball, and with yourself not having any experience yet, like how big of a factor was that for you, just being there and around the guys that have been there? They've done spring training, they've done pro ball, and you haven't had that yet. So what was that experience like? Just kind of listen to them a little bit.
It was awesome kind of being able to like pick their brains and get a taste of like what matters in spring training and like going into it. I mean, because everybody says it's like, a lot of people say it's the hardest part of the year, just getting built up. So just getting a sense of like going into it of like what it's going to be like, so I can get in the right headspace of like when things get hard and like it's the grind in the middle of March, like kind of how to refocus myself and recenter myself on what's important.
Yeah, I found that group so interesting to me, and it just with the amount of talent that you were around, and I thought that was so cool. Like I remember I reached out to Isaac over the off season, and he was kind of listing all the guys, and he listed your name, and I was like, that's got to be a great experience for a guy like yourself that hasn't made the debut yet, and you get to be around all those guys and psychopath totally out there. So always a cool experience. But I also wanted to ask as well, just while we're on the topic of Oklahoma here, the talent that's coming out of that state lately is absolutely insane.
Yeah,
and
I mean they're pumping it out right now.
It's crazy. It's like when people think of like powerhouses, it's like the Texas, the Florida, the California. Oklahoma's up there now.
Yeah, I mean within the last I mean, like Stillwater's putting some Ryan Valade, Holiday, like the Holiday brothers. Those are Stillwater guys. Isaac Stebbins, Stillwater guy. Like I'm Stillwater. Like they're like Oklahoma as a whole, and then obviously Willits this year going first overall, like reclassing up. Like I think it's an underrated baseball state. Like it may not have the volume as like a Texas or a California, but some of the top end talent is. I mean, Jackson Holiday blitzed through the minor leagues. Like I do think it is an underrated baseball state.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, obviously you don't have the size of the state of Texas or something like that. Yeah. That's obviously going against it. But for the size and the high end talent, I think you got to put Oklahoma in the top 5 these days, just with everything going on down there. It's incredible. And you guys have the great facilities down there, that especially the one that you were at. So I guess shout out to the Sooner State, man. I mean, they're doing great things down there. But that leads me to my next thing here. And I did want to ask a little bit about, your performance the last time you did take a mound during your last college season. And you had an insane amount of success. And I know that you were closing some games. You were all in relief at that point. What do you think clicked for you last year? Like what brought on that success?
I think it was going from my freshman year. I mean, obviously like physically, I really that off season, that summer just hammered the weight room. Went from about 210 to about like a good 225. And was just moving a lot better, got faster, got stronger. And then just kind of simplified the mechanics. Like I had gotten really long my freshman year. So just kind of broke things down, got things back to basic. And that allowed me to be just moving like a little faster, a little freer on the mound. And then also just having a better mindset. Like I had gone through freshman year, struggled. Like I think I gave up like 4 home runs in the 9th inning. So like just like I had failed and had the opportunity to learn from that. So then was just ultra prepared going into that next year. Knowing what it's going to be like back in the bullpen. That first freshman year, that was my first year, like being in the bullpen for a full year. So getting a taste of that and knowing what it was going to be like going into it next year really helped. I had a much more solid mindset week to week, like not getting too high, not getting too low, just kind of head down, taking each day as it comes and getting my work in.
How, and I saw you were a Texas A&M commit. How difficult of a decision was that for yourself to, forego that and turn pro?
It wasn't too hard. I mean, just because pro baseball is obviously the dream. And I always, like, me and my parents discussed, like, if I feel like I get enough money to live on comfortably through the minor leagues, then it's a no-brainer for me. Like, I don't care what school it is. I mean, I moved in to A&M for 2 weeks, and it was awesome while I was down there. Loved it. Loved College Station. Loved the coaches there. Future teammates would have been awesome. But the opportunity to go pro is the ultimate goal. Like, the development here is, I mean, that's an SEC powerhouse, but the development here is a completely different level. Like, you can't really compare it. So when it came down to it, it was a pretty no-brainer in the moment.
So when the Red Sox do end up, coming to an agreement with you, and they tell you they want to draft you and use that pick on you, and I'm sure you probably had a couple phone calls with them, after and all that. But what kind of things were they saying that they really liked about you? Like, what was the initial talks like? Hey, we like you because of this.
First, like, his name is Fred Peterson. He was our area scout in Kansas. Like, when he first came to watch, like, the first thing he noticed, he's like, we love big guys. He's like, we love big donkeys. And
They do.
so they, like, if you look at our draft class, like, I'm 6'4",
an offensive lineman,
235 right now. Like, I'm average right now. Like, I'm an average size guy. I walk around the facility, I'm an average size guy. So, like, I think that was the first thing they saw, was just a big frame. I threw a ton of strikes. The heater had great metrics, and it was low to mid nines last year. And they just said they saw, like, a frame and something they could build on and add to.
Yeah, I'm glad that you were the one that pointed that out, because I'm glad that you guys are aware that the Red Sox are building offensive line every draft.
Yeah.
The last two, man, big boys all over the place. That's a big box that they like to check. Are you 6'5", 6'6" with the lead extension? Come on over. So that seems like a common theme. But so I guess now that we are into spring and you've had a few, I actually recorded you throwing one of your lives, I believe, a couple weeks back. But now that you've kind of gotten on the mound a few more times, how have things been going? Like, have you? I mean, fans are very, very intrigued with velocity, as I guess everybody is. But where have things been sitting these days, and what kind of pitches have you been throwing?
So right now it's fastball, cutter, sweeper, and splitter, and everything other than the fastball is brand new.
Wow.
At the JUCO level, they don't track, like, pitch usage, but I guarantee I probably would have been like 97% fastballs. So, and the Red Sox last year were dead last in fastball usage. So, kind of overnight in the draft, I knew that was going to be something that needed to flip. But I bought into it, like, knowing that I've got to fully develop the other pitches. So it's cutter, sweeper, and splitter right now. The fastball and cutter, I would say, are the head of the pack right now. I mean, they're by far my best strike pitches. Fastball is getting good whiff right now. Sweeper and splitter are making strides weekly. I'm just kind of getting them more consistent, throwing them, like, getting comfortable throwing them harder. And the first few weeks, the velocity was kind of more what it's been at Cali. Like, the average was like mid 93, like 93.4, 93.5. Last week we were working on some stuff in the weight room. It took a little dip down to, like, the average was right around, like, low 92s. And then yesterday was my best week of camp yesterday was my best live at camp by far. Average was 94.6 up to 96. So kind of started putting everything together, like, mentally, physically, in the training room. Like, things just really clicked. All the stuff we've been working on, I felt it really transition to the mound and kind of make that jump, like, really, like, not low to mid nines, but, like, into the true mid nines. So that was a good step in the right direction yesterday. And then the cutter was 90, 91, sweeper was 82, 83, split was right around 83. So a good jump in the right direction yesterday.
Gosh, that is well, first of all, obviously awesome to hear about, velos and all that, and having a good week this week. But it is crazy that you are almost debuting a completely new arsenal. Like, that is that's got to be intimidating a little bit to start the pro career.
It is a little bit, but I knew I wouldn't have been able to go fastball only at A&M either. So I was already, like, I had been grinding it out this summer, but then like when we're getting up to the days leading up to the draft and like the Red Sox are at the front of the pack, I'm like they're last, even in the minor leagues, they're like last in fastball usage rates. Like I'm gonna have to get it together. So just kind of diving right into it, going right into the fire, created a good environment for me to like I got to get this down. So just having the pressure and like obviously everybody at the facility is so smart. Like the with the slow motion cameras, it made it super easy to just pick up on all that stuff and get pitches I'm comfortable with. And then now it's just about getting reps with them and getting the small details right.
Yeah, and that's been a common theme this offseason for some guys around the system, even a guy we talked about earlier, like Peyton Tolley, and his fastball is one of the best fastballs in baseball, of minor league baseball as prospect wise. And and he kind of spent his offseason working on some secondaries and things like that. Like when a guy like yourself is trying to add new pitches and new secondaries that go along with your fastball, like do you bounce ideas off of any of the other guys, like with either pitch grips or how to throw things? Like how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of when I was picking up the slider, like I was also messing around with the gyro slider a little bit this offseason, and it's still there. I don't know how much I'm throwing it in game, just because a lot of my focus is on the sweeper right now. But I mean, asking totally a ton about the gyro slider just because he threw it and just he said he's thrown it for a long time. And I love to learn. I love to pick up any like weight room stuff, pitching stuff, like anything I can. So I'm always trying to bounce ideas off anybody wherever I can get them, especially guys that have been to higher levels than I've been. They have more experience. They have thousands of more reps than I do. They've got years more of experience. So just trying to pick and learn anything I can.
All right, I'm shifting gears here a little bit. I'm gonna ask you some questions off the field, try to see if I can, at least try to see who Barrett Morgan is a little bit off the field.
Perfect.
But when you are not, down at the complex or throwing in the off season or whatever, what do you do in your free time?
And right now, just hang out with my roommates. We'll go eat around Fort Myers. Just spend some time relaxing and chilling. It's stressful out here. I'll call my parents back home. I'll play video games with my brother, read, call my girlfriend, talk to her on the phone. Just kind of because I do think a lot about baseball and sometimes I think too much. So just kind of whatever I can do to kind of just wind down for the day and take my mind off of it, watch a movie, read. I'm not a huge golfer. I probably should get into it just because there are so many awesome golf courses around Fort Myers.
That's like I feel like you're in the minority for a pitcher if you're not golfing.
In the golf capital of the world down here too.
I know. Yeah, that is interesting because I feel like every single pitcher has a set of clubs down there and they're going, or whenever you get to an affiliate, that's all they're doing on Mondays or whatever it is. So, well, you said I obviously Oklahoma has a place that's near and dear, and David Sandlin preached this to me until I did end up trying it whenever I was down in the Dallas area not that long ago, but it was Brahms, and he opened up my eyes to that place. And
yeah, I was just talking to people at the facility about that, like some of the guys.
Really?
I was like, I don't even know how it got brought up. They had none of them had ever heard what Brahms.
Nobody has any idea what it is.
And I realized that, like, yeah, nobody that's not from the Midwest is ever going to know what that place is. I think everybody in the country is missing out that doesn't know what Brahms is. Like, I think it is.
Okay.
I think it is the premier fast food restaurant. I think it's got the best ice cream of any fast food restaurant. I think it's got some of the best burgers.
See, that's a hot take, and I grew up in the Midwest. I grew up in the St. Louis area. I went to Mizzou for college, so I was in that Culver's area. I think the closest Brahms was Joplin, maybe. So I didn't really get to try growing up, so I'm more of a Culver's guy. But David was just like, you have to go when you're down in Dallas because they're all over the Dallas area.
Yeah. I agree. Man. No, I agree with it. And like if you're really trying to just pack in some calories, like you can't go wrong with a bag of burgers. It's just five junior cheeseburgers, or if you need, for whatever reason, if you need 5 breakfast sandwiches in the morning, you can get 5 breakfast sandwiches for a deal. Like it's just
I
there
love
for
that.
whatever you need.
Yeah.
I tried not to eat it a bunch I try not to eat it at all in the off season while I was at home, like trying to stay healthy. But
It's hard, man. It's hard.
yeah. I
Um,
think it's underrated, and I think people on the coast are missing out. People not from the Midwest.
I couldn't agree more, man. I mean, I'm gonna just lump Culver's in there as well, because that's a Midwest thing as well, and they just don't
Yeah.
have that. But that kind of ties into the question I was gonna ask, though. With you being out of the Midwest, you're down in Florida, and I'm sure you've probably taken a peek at all the minor league affiliates for the Red Sox, and they're all
Mhm.
East Coast, obviously, and what is something you're going to miss the most about home in Oklahoma, like being out in, Virginia and in the Carolinas and up in New England?
I think the lack of people in Oklahoma, like the traffic there is so minimal. Like
Yeah.
it takes forever to get anywhere down here. So I definitely do miss that. But I'm loving the new opportunity to be in new places. As much as I love Stillwater and love my family and being there, it is nice to, now that I'm growing up, to kind of branch away a little bit. And Cali was so close to my hometown. It was kind of like I was just still in, like it was in southern Kansas, but it was still like I was just in Oklahoma. So it is nice. I mean, the 2 weeks I was at College Station, and then now like Florida, and I'll get to go to Virginia and see a bunch of cool places. It is awesome to be able to branch out and kind of see some more stuff other than Oklahoma.
Yeah, I don't want to obviously assume where you're going to get assigned to start the year.
Yeah,
I do feel like if it is Salem, I feel like you might appreciate that, just because it's a little mountain town, just kind of like out in the middle of nowhere a little bit. I feel like the guys that are usually from those like more rural areas do appreciate Salem a lot more. So I feel like that could be if that is where you're going, like could be and then obviously Greenville's an excellent place as well. But I'm always curious about that, because especially with yourself being one of the first times you're truly away from home, and how that feeling is. But my next question here: have you ever been to anywhere like the Boston area, New England? Have you ever been up there before?
Never. The farthest up the East Coast I've ever been is Georgia. So
wow.
Whatever, like whether it's Salem, Greenville, like whatever affiliate I go to is going to be a brand new step up the East Coast.
Wow.
I've never been to any of that area. I've heard nothing but great things from I met just some fans that were from Boston and just came down to like catch a few spring training games, and have heard nothing but great things from Boston. And like the people here at the facility that like work with the Red Sox and are just down here for spring training that live in like the Boston area, heard awesome things. So excited to see it someday.
You mentioned just being around the fans, and that is something that once guys do get to AA Portland, that's when you start to really see, because you're in Red Sox country once you get up to Portland, Maine.
Yeah.
But just being around, just all the fans coming down the spring training sites. And I when I was down there, I know it was February vacation week in the Northeast, so a lot of families were down there. But how has that experience been? Like, has it been something that surprised you a little bit? Maybe signing autographs and things like that you've never really done before. Like, how has that been?
It was like, I'd say the first 1 or 2 days, it was surprising, just because like these kids would go ask like Kyson, Anthony, like the big dogs of our draft class, and then they would walk up to me with the ball. And so at first, like the first 2 days, I was like I would call my dad and be like, these kids asked me to sign his stuff, and it just kind of caught me off guard a little bit. And then I realized like these kids are just like it doesn't really matter. Like, yes, like Kyson Witherspoon is Kyson Witherspoon, but like we're all just professional baseball players. These kids, like we're living most of their guys' their dreams. And so now I look at it as an opportunity. Like if like there was a elementary school field trip the other day, and there was like 30 kids, and I probably signed 30 baseballs. So like I try to take the opportunity when I can, just because I mean, if I was 9 years old, I would think it's the coolest thing ever to talk to a professional baseball player, no matter who it was, get him to sign something. So it almost helps me remember that this is like we're playing a kid's game, and it's an awesome game to be able to play every day, and it's a blessed life I live, and I'm so grateful to do it. So it almost helps me keep that like childlike view of the game, like seeing how excited all these kids get.
Yeah, I love that perspective. And I remember talking to a few families when I was down there, and I mean, some of these kids, I mean, they just truly, you're in uniform, you got the spikes on.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they don't care. Like if you're single
Mm-hmm.
A or triple A, wherever it is, like you're a professional baseball player, and they love that. So I think it's so cool that, especially down on the backfields in Fort Myers, that you guys do, like, all the fans can kind of get up and close to you guys when you guys are walking to and from. So very unique experience. I have one question left for you here, and I will let you slide. All right, so maybe for the fans that didn't get a good peek at you in JUCO, maybe they're not as familiar with you, and maybe they just haven't really gotten introduced yourself until this podcast, which happens from time to time. So for yourself, what are fans going to see from Barrett Morgan once you take the field in a professional game? Like, could you describe yourself as a pitcher, like how you are on the mound and things like that? Like, what are fans going to see?
I mean, if people watch this interview and then they see me like when I'm on the mound in like competitor mode, I don't think they're gonna think it's the same person. Like whenever I'm on the mound, I mean my JUCO teammates can attest to this. Like I'm talking to myself, like I'm pacing in the bullpen, like just a fiery competitor. I work fast, I get after people. My mindset is strike everybody out on 3 pitches. Like I'm not wasting pitches, I'm not setting anybody up. I'm going every pitch in the zone, just attack for as many innings as I'm allowed to throw for as many pitches.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, anytime somebody explains himself like that, I've had a few on here before, and I'll even shout out Ethan Walker because he's kind of got like that same like mindset a little bit where he turns into a little crazy person on the mound. But I love it. It's like a true like closer type mentality. Which I don't know if you're going to be starting or relieving this year, but it is a very different mindset that, you do turn into a different person when you're on the mound, which is not a bad thing. But Barrett, I appreciate all the time, obviously wishing you best of luck in your pro debut once that comes up this year. And nothing but success here in 2026.
Thank you for the opportunity. It was nice to get to talk to you and do this. This is the first anything like this I've done, so it was an awesome first experience.